All right, everybody, welcome back, man. Here with my buddy,
What's
my bestest pal,
up?
Sheik. So, Sheik, not only are you videographer to the stars,
Yes.
but you got a new gig going here. You're doing some marketing for people.
I do have a new gig here, so I am getting involved in marketing, coaching companies, and helping bring leads in.
I think you're being a little shy. You're acting as kind of like a fractional chief marketing officer.
I am being a little shy, but yes, I am doing fractional CMO work.
Cool. And that kind of comes from just helping people grow their video accounts. And I know it's been a big passion of yours to try to figure out how to run funnels and advertising and copywriting and all that stuff. I know you spend a ton of time on that.
Yeah, I spent a ton of time and getting an education in that, and it honestly came naturally. I built my first one, and it converted really, really well.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it, and I was like, well, why is this funnel doing so well? Mm-hmm. And then I realized once I got the education, I was doing everything that they were saying to do, but naturally. Mm-hmm. But it really zoned in and gave me a road, refined it on, okay, this is what I did subconsciously. Yeah. And that's the reason why I did so well. It's all in the copy, man.
Yeah, you're the most course takenest guy I've ever met. Like every time I talk to you, you're like, yeah, I just bought this new course. I downloaded this course. I'm on this thing. I'm on this group call.
Yeah.
Like, you're constantly in education.
I don't watch TV. Yeah. I don't watch TV, and growing up, my mom didn't allow me to watch TV. I still snuck in TV, so I did watch TV growing up. I would sneak it in. I'd go from
30 channels don't count though.
The channel 99.
You weren't on those channels for long, right?
No,
things were over quick.
Yeah, things changed. Cable went away,
right.
But no, I used to have to go from room to room to watch TV, and I thank my mom so much for that. As a kid, I hated it, but now I'm so interested in learning things. So man, I spend too much money on courses.
Yeah, no, a lot.
Too much.
Yeah, more on courses or more on concerts?
More on courses.
Yeah?
Yeah, more on
I know
courses.
You bought some big expensive concert tickets. So.
Yeah, but I also got a lot of friends in the music industry still.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Sometimes I make some phone calls.
Nice. Yeah. So, well, since you brought that up, tell us, what did you do before? I know, but tell everybody kind of what your background was. You got out of high school, and then what?
I was a touring guitar player. Yeah,
really?
I was a guitar player in high school. I would start little bands in high school, but right when I got out of high school is when I got the opportunity to play with some regional acts, and that was really, really cool. I played big festivals, opened for a lot of
you were in Hollywood, and you were all over, right?
I wasn't in Hollywood, but I did.
You did play out there.
I did play out there in San Bernardino, California for Knotfest. That's the festival that Slipknot puts on every year, and we got to play Knotfest. That was really cool, cool experience.
So how long were you a touring musician?
Probably from age 19 to 26.
Yeah. Okay. That's why.
But I was a musician before that, but actually touring probably that long.
Okay. I was telling someone the other day, my buddy was a touring musician for 10 years, so a little bit less.
A little bit less, yeah. But I was a musician for probably 14 years.
Guitar.
I played guitar.
Lead guitar.
Well, me and the other guitar player were so in sync that we would take turns. So there was no lead guitarist per se. Sometimes he would go off, sometimes I would go off, and it was just kind of like we were both doing the same thing.
Okay. Well, just to show my lack of understanding about bands, I know there's bass guitar, and I always assumed the other was lead guitar. So just a regular.
Usually, there's lead guitar and there's rhythm guitar.
Rhythm guitar.
Yeah, the lead guitarist is the one who's showing off the most, but me and him could both show off. So we both took the opportunity to do so and encouraged each other to do so. So it was great.
So your late 20s, you decide I'm done with this life?
Yeah. I was working. The touring days were over, and I had a job at La Madeleine flipping crepes.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I fucking hate this.
So you went from band to working as a server. Working
as a server, just doing weird jobs.
Is that the restaurant you took me to with your mom?
La Madeleine?
Yeah.
No, we went to La Fonda. I worked there too.
Okay.
La Fonda's a little more upscale.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice place. That was a cool place to work.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I had no plans or whatever, and I ran into somebody named Miguel Diaz, and that man took me to a RIA and changed my life. Literally, a RIA changed my life.
Yeah. Mine too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've told the story a million times, right? Of being afraid to go in and all that stuff. And, if I didn't go back the second time I go in my life, who knows what it would be.
Yeah, dude, the RIAs are the truth. So I went to a RIA, I met Miguel Diaz, and he was working for a gentleman by the name of Uncle Charles.
Uncle Charles, our buddy.
And, so I was like, man, you do real estate? And I was like, man, let me give this wholesaling real estate a try. And so I asked, some family members, I was like, hey, you know anybody who wants to sell a house? And one of my family members was like, yeah, this lady a couple streets down from where you live, she actually wants to sell the house. And I was like, oh, well, let me give her a call.
Yeah.
And so
No idea what you're doing.
no idea what I'm doing. And I was like, hey, you know, I heard you want to sell your property. Is it cool if I come down and take a look? No acquisition skills whatsoever.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, come by today.
Did anybody coach you up before you went
No.
there?
No. I was like, I had Miguel with me.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, hey, Miguel, you want to partner on this deal? I think it's a deal. And he's like, sure. And so we went down there and we ended up contracting the property.
On the spot.
It was worth $250 ARV. We contracted it for $88,500.
Whoa.
That deal made $40,000. My first phone call, my first appointment, my
Yeah.
first contract on my very first day.
Wow.
Stories verified. You can ask Uncle Charles. It really
Yeah.
happened. First phone call, first day. I got a contract in a 40 pop.
So what's the lesson there? Massive imperfect action.
Exactly.
Right.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. So long story short, I spent all my money on a bunch of junk that I shouldn't have because here I am, some kid who doesn't know anything about money, you know, getting a.
And you just think, I'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I knew that it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
So I wasn't oblivious to that it wasn't that easy, and I knew I got really lucky. So I wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
I knew that, but I didn't have money management skills at all because I never had any money. So I spent all my money, and here I am, you know, really getting down on acquisitions. And we didn't have systems and processes back then. We were knocking on doors. We were cold calling ourselves. We were driving for dollars.
Yeah.
And man, I hit a real dry spell. And what really hurt me is somebody had wrecked into my beautiful black and chrome with orange leather seats Impala and totaled my Impala.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any money to get a new car. I didn't have a car. And so somebody at HBHS was like, hey, man.
Charles.
Well, it wasn't Charles. It was somebody else.
But Charles's company.
Charles's company.
Right.
So was like, hey, we're getting rid of our video guy. Or no, the video guy's quitting. Let me rephrase that before I get in any trouble. So we know you're kind of a creative dude. You know, you used to be in a band. Do you think you'd be interested in this? Well, I never made a video before.
You didn't know how to hold a camera.
Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. And he's all like, well, you know, just give it a shot. And I was like, well, I don't have a camera.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, you can borrow my
Here,
camera.
take this camera.
And I was like, okay. I was like, well, how much does it pay? Man, we can do $200 a week. Man, I need some money. That's okay. I'll do it.
$200 a week.
$200 a
This
week.
wasn't that long ago, bro. It ain't like when I was getting out of college in 1993.
No. So like when I started that business, I was making $200 a week. And making a video a week. And then next thing you know, I met JR. And by the way, I didn't have a car, so I was taking the bus to Uncle Charles's office.
Right.
And then I met JR, and then I was taking the bus to JR's office.
Another investor
In San Antonio, and he was paying me $200 a week. Next thing you know, I'm making $400 a week.
So, like, let's talk about like the lesson there, because we were just talking with Steven a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know, an opportunity presented itself, and did you want to work for 200? No. Everybody wants to work for $10 million a week, right? But it was an opportunity to do something different, learn, right, and you know, get good at something and become proficient and bring value. Right.
Exactly. That was the main thing that I saw in there. It was not the dollar sign. It was the opportunity to earn a new skill. And by the way, guys, this is before TikTok. Like, no investors had videographers.
No.
Back then.
Bro,
I was one of the first ones to start to do it.
I remember watching the video, I think that you took from HBHS, where they went to like Whole Scaling Live or something. Like, I remember seeing those videos online and being like, wow, dude. That's fucking crazy. Charles has this huge operation. I remember you guys like all either like on this escalator. Like, I remember those videos. And this is years before I even met Charles.
Full transparency, I don't think I made that video. I think that was the videographer before me. And that's right when he left.
Well, here's why I can tell you. If it wasn't for Charles having a videographer, whether it was you or the other guy, I never would have, when I was, the first time I went to Texas, I went to Austin. I was going to see Nick Perry. And I was going to spend a couple days with Nick, but his schedule changed radically. And like, I think I got there on like Tuesday night, and I was going to be at his place Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but I couldn't get there till Friday. So I'm like, well, who else do I know in Texas? Uncle Charles. The reason I went to see Charles was because of those videos.
I remember when you came to the office that day.
Yeah?
I was there.
Yeah. You guys were just moving into that office.
Yep.
Yeah. And Charles was nice enough. Like, again, I didn't know Charles. He was a big deal. I'm a nobody, right? So I, you know, messaged him, and he's like, yeah, come by the office. I'm like, okay. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, I don't know, man. I want to be friends. Seemed like a cool guy. Like, I literally show up with a bottle of whiskey. Here you go. And like, let's be buddies.
Wow. Uncle Charles, man. What a great person.
So interesting, though, that it does go back to those videos.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, back to what, I forgot where I was in the conversation, but, you know, I I was one of the first guys to start doing it with real estate investors.
Yeah.
You know, as a service business. And when I started, like I said, I was only making $400 a week at the time, and I didn't have a car. And I convinced a local mechanic to seller finance me a piece of junk car, or you know,
Was this not
in-house
the
finance.
not snow-worthy car?
This was, yeah, it was bad. It would squeak and stuff when I would drive around, but I had a car that I paid for on my own from the money that I made doing video. And that's when I knew, okay, like maybe I can come up with a product that, you know, I can scale. And then I called David one day. I was like, I got this crazy idea.
Well, wait, let's go back before then. So first time we really met and talked a lot was probably at that mastermind.
Yeah, let's talk about that mastermind a little bit. Yeah.
So this is COVID was kind of going on a little bit, right?
I think people were just figuring it out.
Well, because I remember we were all spread out in this room. Like, so Uncle Charles put on this mastermind, very exclusive, brought some super high level guys in for a real true mastermind where there was probably, I don't know, 16, 18 of us.
Dude, that was the best mastermind I've ever been to.
It was. And
oh
everybody,
my God.
You know, I think we all kicked in maybe $1,000 to cover the room and like some dinners and stuff. Like it was nothing. Might not have even been $1,000.
And it wasn't like a scaled production. It was just like straight up like a bunch of heavy hitters getting together and like really like being vulnerable about their businesses. Yeah. That was a great mastermind.
No, a true.
I have yet to attend another one like that.
But I was struck at how quickly you guys were turning videos around. Like literally somebody was speaking 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, and I would flip on Facebook and you guys had the video. Like you guys were unbelievable how quickly you were turning videos around.
That was crazy.
Yeah. But again, so to go back to, you know, what, you know, definitely put you on the map, right, is videos and content production, right, and getting your name out there and, you know, and showing people like who you are and what you can do. Like, why? Let's talk about that, because when you came to me and said, hey, I have this great idea, right, I was not jumping at the opportunity.
No, not at all, because there was no proof that I could do anything.
Well, and also I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, and also David didn't want to be on camera, which has changed now, obviously, because we're here. But
there we are.
Yeah,
people into the room
I called David one day and I was like, dude, I have this crazy idea and I have no idea if it's gonna work, but will you take a bet on it? And he said yes. And next thing you know, we were able to grow David's account. At the time, we had exponential growth into the 200,000s of followers. And we were learning, you know, how it works. And, you know, of course, it's come down since then, because what comes up must come down. Not much, though. We've actually retained, you know, 96 followers since then. So we had exponential growth. We did it at the perfect time, and we did it with the perfect formula without knowing that we had a formula to what was working at the time. So eventually, you know, David put out the word, and, you know, I got sick with COVID at David's house. And I was like, man, David, I don't want to just sit here sick in your house. You know what I mean? And he's like, well, let me help you out. He put out a post about what I did. And in 2 days, I closed.
That was all you did, was took calls, right? For 2 days?
For 2 days, I took calls and I closed $35,000. Well, what's 35 times 6? Because they were 6 months contract.
72.
Times
35, 70.
Times 6.
Oh, no, 180, 200, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I closed around 200,000 in sales in 2 days at David's house, sick with COVID. And that's when I knew, like...
Good thing I gave you a break.
I know.
So you could recoup.
Like, holy shit, how the am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And so I hired a bunch of staff.
So again, something that you created, we use that as a tool to drive more business.
Awesome. And that's pretty much how I got started in business, was thanks to this gentleman and you know, taking a bet on me. And now I've grown multiple Instagram accounts in the hundreds of thousands of followers, multiple in 70s, 60s, 30s.
Filmed some of the biggest people in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say, you know, like you're the video guy to the stars, like you literally are in the room with all the A players.
Pace Morby, Jerry Norton, Robert Winsley. I've worked with all of them. It's been a blessing. It's been awesome. All because a gentleman at HP just let me borrow his camera one day.
And wanted to pay you $200 a week.
And that was great. I'm so glad. You know, I'm so grateful for that opportunity despite the number. It's not all about the number, you know.
Right.
It's not all about the money you make. In fact, when you really think about it, I mean, what's the most valuable thing in life is your time, right? It's not even money. You know, people chase money to get their time back.
Yeah.
So back then I understood that concept. I'm going to put in time to learn this new skill.
Yeah.
And money's going to come with it.
Yeah. And I think, again, that's an incredible lesson, you know, and that's happened to me over and over and over in my career, even when I was in retail management, I took a job for I think it was like $325 a week, like $15,000 a year, and
Holy shit.
was able to turn that into a 6-figure position. And then we started over in real estate and literally started with nothing, but just a bunch of hustle. Like, let's just go out and do this thing, and with a little bit of faith and hope that it all works out. And it's turned out okay. We've done all right.
We did okay.
We've done all right.
We did okay.
Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you jumping on here, man. I love you. So, I think it's important that you tell people your story. And I think the reason I started with what you do before is because being in the musical field, like you have an innate creativity, right? Certainly something that I don't have. So I think those people that have that kind of artistic and creative background, definitely can flourish in a business like this.
No, absolutely, 100%. And things just come naturally, being from that background.
Yeah.
Just like the video, it used to be my ears and now it's my eyes. And
I think your brain works differently and sees it differently, certainly than me. Like you're just that's the thing that you're.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't get in your brain.
And you don't want to be in this brain. It's ugly up there.
Well, I know we have some other guests to get to, and.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Awesome, bro.
By the way, guys, we were talking about before I go earlier how I'm doing more fractional CMO work. Me and my partner Ryan Jackson, we have a brand new.
Yes, that's actually why we sat down.
Yeah,
to talk about that.
We have a brand new academy that we're launching. We're launching on April 5th.
Yeah.
And it's going to be perfect for new investors. Like if you're somebody who really wants to get into real estate and doesn't know how to find deals, doesn't know what to do when you find them, don't know how to comp properties, this is the perfect program for you because it's going to be at a very low price point. It's going to be less,
very affordable.
Very affordable. It's going to be a monthly membership. It's going to come with everything you need. If you join Trap House Academy and you don't start a multiple 6-figure real estate business, then you just didn't do what we told you. Plain and simple.
Just follow the steps.
Just follow the steps. Remain in the community. Be involved. And there's no way we make it absolutely unreasonable for you not to see success.
So kind of going all the way back to the beginning, like this is your tribe. Follow what these guys are doing. See the success that other people are having, and just duplicate it. Just do the thing.
TrapHouseAcademy.com.
All right, cool. And if they want to talk to you about video stuff,
210 Sheik. I'm easy to find.
210 Sheik on Instagram.
That's it.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Thank
Go
you.
get some contracts.